All right, folks, welcome back. We're diving right back in for another deep dive into current affairs. It's January 28th, 2025, and we're picking up right where we left off. This is, of course, part of our daily UPSC series, and today we've got a really interesting mix. We've got international relations, some environmental breakthroughs, and then some important domestic policy updates, so a lot to unpack today.
Definitely. Yeah, there's a lot going on, but I think one of the things that really stands out to me from today's news is Indonesia taking center stage as the chief guest at India's 76th Republic Day celebrations. And it's interesting because they were also the first Republic Day chief guest back in 1950. So that kind of historical connection, that's a great jumping off point, I think, for UPSC prep.
You're right. That historical context is super relevant for UPSC. But it's not just about the past, right? What makes this partnership important strategically for India today?
Right, exactly. Yeah. So if you look at it, Indonesia's location in the Indo-Pacific, it becomes clear why this relationship matters so much to India right now. Both nations are really pushing for a stable, prosperous Indo-Pacific, and this shared vision is opening up some serious avenues for collaboration, especially when it comes to defense and trade. We're talking, missile technology, submarine construction, maritime security. It's pretty big.
And don't forget the trade figures, 29.4 billion in bilateral trade. And, that's not just a number for UPSC. That really signifies a robust economic partnership. So what are some of the key imports and exports that fuel this relationship?
Right. So, India relies on Indonesia for essential commodities, things like coal, palm oil, rubber. And in return, India exports refined petroleum products, telecommunications equipment, and a bunch of agricultural products. But it goes beyond just economics, right? Because you've got to remember the cultural angle. Indonesia has deep-rooted Hindu influences, especially from epics like the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. And that kind of cultural exchange really adds another layer to this relationship that, UPSC examiners often like to focus on.
Okay, so we've got the historical context, the strategic significance, the economic partnership, and even the cultural angle. It sounds like a pretty comprehensive relationship, and definitely something UPSC aspirants should pay attention to. Let's shift gears now to something that might sound a bit technical at first. We're talking about OECMs, other effective area-based conservation measures. It is a mouthful, I know, but they're becoming increasingly important in global conservation efforts.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The concept of OECMs sort of emerged from the Aichi biodiversity targets back in 2010, and they got their official definition in 2018. So essentially, these are areas that, aren't formally designated as protected areas, but still they contribute significantly to biodiversity conservation. And for UPSC, this distinction between OECMs and traditional protected areas, that's key.
So for our listeners who are prepping for UPSC, what's the crucial difference between OECMs and protected areas? Because they both seem to be aimed at conservation. Yeah.
That's the tricky part. So while both contribute to conservation, their focus is slightly different. So protected areas, they primarily aim to safeguard biodiversity within a specific site, think national parks or wildlife sanctuaries. OECMs, on the other hand, they can have broader objectives, including things like sustainable resource use and the provision of what they call ecosystem services. So, for example, take a community managed forest that provides timber and fuel wood while also conserving biodiversity. That would be a classic OECM.
Okay, that clears things up a bit. So we got these areas that aren't officially protected, but are still managed in a way that benefits biodiversity. But why should we care about them? What makes OECM so important in the grand scheme of things?
Well, OECMs are crucial because they play a vital role in conserving vital ecosystems and habitats, restoring degraded lands, supporting species recovery. They also enhance what we call ecosystem resilience, which is becoming increasingly important as we face climate change. So think of them as these green corridors, right? Connecting fragmented ecosystems, allowing wildlife to move freely and ensuring genetic diversity. And this interconnectedness is crucial for maintaining healthy ecosystems. And that's something UPSC examiners often focus on.
So to recap for our UPSC aspirants, OECMs offer a more flexible and inclusive approach to conservation. Going beyond the traditional boundaries of protected areas, they help maintain biodiversity, support sustainable resource use, and contribute to the overall health of our planet. Definitely a topic to keep in mind for those UPSC exams. Now let's switch gears to a key domestic development that's sure to be a hot topic in the upcoming exams. We're talking about the Unified Pension Scheme, or UPS, for central government employees. This new scheme, it comes into effect from April 1st, 2025, and it's got some interesting features that UPSC aspirants should be aware of.
Absolutely. Yeah, this notification is particularly relevant for those under the National Pension System, or NPS. And, what's really important to note is that the UPS offers an assured pension, which wasn't there in the earlier NPS. It also includes family pension and is indexed to inflation. So these are crucial details that, UPSC often tests.
Now, I'm sure a lot of our listeners are wondering, how does this new UPS compare to the existing NPS and the old pension scheme, or OPS? That's a question that's bound to come up in the exam.
You're right. Understanding the key differences between these pension schemes is crucial for UPSC preparation. So essentially, they differ in their applicability, the structure of the assured pension, employee contributions, and then the payment of lump sum amounts. So for instance, the UPS offers an assured pension of 50% of the average basic pay over the last 12 months of service. The NPS, on the other hand, relies on market-linked returns, which can fluctuate, right? And then you have the OPS, which guarantees 50% of the last drawn salary.
Okay, so we have three different pension schemes with distinct features and applicability. And UPSC loves these kinds of comparative analyses, so understanding these nuances is crucial for our listeners. Let's move on now to a piece of news that brought a smile to my face, and I'm sure it will to yours too. India has achieved a significant milestone in wetland conservation. Indore and Udaipur have become the first Indian cities to receive wetland city accreditation under the Ramsar Convention.
This is fantastic. It's a fantastic achievement and a testament to India's growing commitment to wetland conservation. Now, for UPSC, it's important to understand the significance of the Ramsar Convention. It's an international treaty dedicated to the conservation and sustainable use of wetlands. Wetland City Accreditation, which is voluntary, it recognizes cities that have made significant efforts to conserve and manage their urban wetlands.
So what makes Indore and Udaipur stand out? What do they do to earn this prestigious recognition?
Well, Indore's Sirpur Lake, which is already a designated Ramsar site, known for its rich biodiversity, is being developed as a bird sanctuary. And, it's a great example of how urban areas can integrate conservation into their development plans. Udaipur, on the other hand, it boasts 5 major wetlands: Pichola, Fateh Sagar, Rang Sagar, Swarup Sagar, and Dutalai. Each of these wetlands contributes to the city's ecological richness and plays a vital role in regulating water resources and supporting, local livelihoods.
That's impressive. And it aligns perfectly with India's own Amrit Dharohar initiative, which emphasizes the importance of wetland conservation and wise use. It's a win-win situation for both the environment and the people who depend on these vital ecosystems. And we all know time is precious, especially for UPSC aspirants. So let's dive into some quick takes. These are rapid-fire updates on other important news items that you need to know to stay ahead in your preparation.
All right, so firstly, the Bombay High Court has weighed in on the use of loudspeakers, reiterating that, they're not considered an essential religious practice. They referenced a 2016 judgment in the Mahesh Vijay case, and also the Supreme Court's ruling in the Church of God case from 2000. This really ties into the concept of what we call the Essential Religious Practices Test, or ERP, which is frequently discussed in UPSC exams.
Yeah, the ERP test is definitely a recurring theme in UPSC, as it helps determine the boundaries of religious freedom in India. What other quick takes do we have today?
Well, get ready for this one. The Earth's magnetic North Pole is on the move. It's drifting towards Siberia. And this shift, which is documented in the updated World Magnetic Model, has potential implications for navigation systems, migratory species, and even our vulnerability to solar storms. It's a reminder that our planet is constantly changing and evolving.
It's a fascinating insight into the dynamics of our planet, and it highlights the interconnectedness of various systems. What's next on our quick takes agenda?
Well, there's some concern brewing over Nano Urea. This is an innovative agricultural input developed by IFFCO. And a recent study has indicated that the continued use of Nano Urea might actually lead to yield reductions in rice and wheat. So this raises questions about the long-term impacts of new technologies, especially in a sensitive sector like agriculture.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even with technological advancements, careful research and assessment are crucial, especially when it comes to food security and environmental sustainability. What other updates do we have for our listeners today?
Okay, so the State Bank of India, they've just released a report on India's investment and external commercial borrowings landscape. And there are some key observations that UPSC aspirants should note. Household net financial savings have seen improvement, government investment has reached its highest level in over a decade, and private corporate investment is also on the rise.
This report offers valuable insights into the state of the Indian economy, a topic that's always relevant for UPSC. What else is happening in the world of current affairs?
Well, there's encouraging news from the education sector. PMSHRI schools, which are aligned with the National Education Policy 2020, are seeing a significant rise in enrollments across several states.
That's great news. It seems like these schools are gaining traction and making a positive impact. What else is making headlines today?
Well, how about a touch of art and culture? Edkapaka dolls, renowned for their unique craftsmanship and use of natural materials, were proudly showcased at the Republic Day reception. These dolls, which have a GI tag, represent the rich artistic traditions of India, and they're a great example of how cultural heritage can be preserved and celebrated.
Those dolls sound exquisite. It's always heartwarming to see traditional crafts receiving the recognition they deserve. What other quick takes do we have for our listeners?
Okay, so in a significant legal development, the Karnataka High Court has struck down the Green Energy Open Access Rules of 2022. The court's reasoning was that the central government exceeded its authority in framing these specific rules, and that the power to regulate open access to green energy, it lies with state-level commissions.
This case highlights the importance of understanding the division of powers between the central and state governments, a topic that frequently comes up in UPSC exams. What's our final quick take for today?
Well, the Padma Awards, one of India's highest civilian honors, have been announced, and this year's list includes a diverse range of individuals who've made exceptional contributions to various fields, everything from science and technology to art and social work. The Padma Awards are really a testament to the incredible talent and dedication that exists across our nation.
The Padma Awards are always inspiring, showcasing the remarkable achievements of individuals from all walks of life. And that wraps up our Quick Take segment for today. We've covered a lot of ground, from international partnerships and environmental innovations to important domestic developments and legal decisions.
But remember, these are just the highlights. The key to success in UPSC is to delve deeper into these issues, analyze different perspectives, and connect the dots. That's what will help you develop a comprehensive understanding of current affairs and excel in those challenging exams.
Stay tuned, folks, because we've got more ground to cover in our deep dive into the news that matters most.
Now, let's shift gears a bit. There's been this really fascinating genetic survey of cyanobacteria in Lake Victoria. It's the second largest freshwater lake in the world. And understanding the role of these tiny organisms, they're also known as blue-green algae, it's really crucial for the lake's health.
Cyanobacteria, they ring a bell. Weren't they involved in shaping the Earth's early atmosphere?
That's right, yeah. They're ancient organisms, and they played a key role in generating, the oxygen we breathe today. But they can also cause problems too, forming these harmful algal blooms that disrupt ecosystems and affect water quality. So this study on Lake Victoria, it's really important because it'll shed light on the specific types of cyanobacteria that are present and their potential impact. It's a great example of how scientific research can inform conservation efforts.
So we've got these ancient organisms. They're essential for life, but they can also pose threats to ecosystems. It's a delicate balance. Understanding these nuances is crucial for maintaining healthy environments. And speaking of good news, let's end our quick take segment on a high note. Georgia has been declared malaria-free by the World Health Organization. This is a major victory for global health initiatives.
Absolutely. It's a testament to the power of sustained efforts,
Yeah.
in disease prevention and control. And Georgia's success story, it offers hope and inspiration for other countries that are working to eliminate malaria.
All right, folks, that wraps up our quick take segment. We've covered a lot of ground today, from international relations and environmental concerns to key domestic updates and scientific breakthroughs. And remember, these are just the highlights. And for those of you preparing for UPSC, it's essential to delve deeper into these topics, explore the nuances, and make those connections.
Yeah, for sure. Before we wrap up today's deep dive, let's just kind of recap some of the key takeaways, keeping in mind, the UPSC perspective. So starting with Indonesia's role as chief guest at India's Republic Day, it's crucial to understand the historical and geopolitical significance of this partnership. Pay attention to, the shared vision for the Indo-Pacific, the potential for defense and trade collaborations, and the strong people-to-people ties. These are all points that could easily be, woven into a UPSC answer.
And let's not forget about those OECMs. Make sure you grasp the difference between OECMs and traditional protected areas, the benefits of OECMs, and how they contribute to global conservation efforts. This is a relatively new concept. It's gaining traction in environmental policy, so it's definitely worth understanding for UPSC.
Absolutely. And moving on to the Unified Pension Scheme, for central government employees, the comparison between UPS, NTS, and OPS is essential for tackling questions on governance and social security schemes. Make sure you understand the key features of each scheme, their applicability, and how they differ in terms of, benefits and contributions.
The recognition of Indore and Udaipur as wetland cities under the Ramsar Convention is another significant development. Understand the criteria for wetland city accreditation and how it aligns with India's Amrit Dharohar initiative. This demonstrates India's commitment to wetland conservation and could be potential question in the environment and ecology section of the UPSC exam.
Now onto our quick take segment, which covered a wide range of topics. The Bombay High Court's stance on loudspeakers and the essential religious practices test. That's a recurring theme in UPSC, so make sure you're familiar with the key judgments and the concept of the ERP test.
The shifting magnetic North Pole and its potential implications, the concerns over Nano Urea and its impact on agricultural yields, and the key observations from the State Bank of India's report on investment and ECBs. All of these are crucial for understanding the interplay of science, technology, and economics in current affairs.
Right. The success of PM SHRI schools, the showcasing of Edukopaka dolls, and the Karnataka High Court's decision on green energy open access rules, they highlight the significance of education, culture, and legal developments in India. These are all areas that UPSC often touches upon.
And finally, the concerns over fentanyl smuggling and Georgia's malaria-free status. These remind us of the global nature of health challenges and the importance of international cooperation in addressing them. These are themes that often appear in UPSC questions related to global health and international relations.
Now, before we sign off, we want to leave you with a thought-provoking question to ponder. As you continue your UPSC preparation, we've seen how international collaborations like the one between India and Indonesia can foster, economic growth and regional stability. But we've also witnessed the challenges posed by global issues like fentanyl trafficking and the shifting magnetic North Pole.
So the question for you to contemplate is this. In an increasingly interconnected world, how can nations balance their national interests with the need for global cooperation? To address these shared challenges, this question lies at the heart of many UPSC questions, and reflecting on it will deepen your understanding of international relations, diplomacy, and global governance.
And with that, we'll conclude part 2 of our deep dive into the day's most significant current affairs. Remember, every news item, every development, every challenge, and every triumph is a potential UPSC question waiting to be explored. Stay curious, keep analyzing, and keep striving for excellence.
Okay, so let's wrap up today's deep dive with a couple more updates that are particularly relevant for our UPSC aspirants.
Yeah. So this one highlights the complexities of environmental regulations. The Karnataka High Court struck down the green energy open access rules of 2022, arguing that the central government kind of overstepped its authority. The court emphasized that the power to regulate open access to green energy, it rests with the state-level commissions.
This decision really underscores the importance of, understanding that division of powers between the central and state governments in India. It's a topic that often comes up in UPSC polity questions, so it's worth paying attention to these kinds of legal developments.
Speaking of things that are worth paying attention to, how about a dose of art and culture? Edukopaka dolls, they were showcased at the Republic Day reception. And these handcrafted marvels, they're made entirely from natural materials and boasting a GI tag. They're a testament to India's rich artistic heritage.
Yeah, it's always encouraging to see traditional crafts receiving recognition on such prominent platforms. Not only does it help preserve these unique art forms, but it also showcases India's diverse cultural heritage to the world.
And now for an update that always generates a lot of buzz. The Padma Awards have been announced. This year's list features a diverse array of individuals who've made exceptional contributions across various fields, science, technology, art, social work, and more. The Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, and Padma Shri awardees, they're a true inspiration.
The Padma Awards are they're a reminder of the incredible talent and dedication that exists within our nation. They serve as a source of motivation for all of us to strive for excellence in our chosen fields. But let's shift gears now to a global concern that has that has serious implications. Fentanyl. It's a potent synthetic opioid, and it's causing major problems due to smuggling from China into the United States.
Yeah, and this issue, it's escalated to the point where the U.S. is considering imposing tariffs on Chinese imports to try and curb the flow of this dangerous drug. It really highlights the complexities of international drug trafficking and the devastating impact that it can have on public health.
It's a stark reminder that challenges like drug trafficking, they transcend national borders.
Yeah.
And they require global cooperation to find effective solutions. But on a more positive note, there's some fantastic news from the global health front. Georgia has been declared malaria-free by the World Health Organization.
That's incredible. Yeah, it's a momentous achievement, and it's a testament to the effectiveness of sustained efforts in disease prevention and control. And Georgia's success story, it serves as a beacon of hope for other countries that are striving to eliminate malaria.
And with that inspiring news, we come to the end of our deep dive into the most significant current affairs for January 28th, 2025. We've explored everything from international partnerships and environmental innovations to crucial domestic developments and global challenges.
Right, but remember, this is just the starting point. We encourage you to dig deeper into these topics, analyze different perspectives, and connect the dots. That's what will help you develop a comprehensive understanding of current affairs, which, as you know, is crucial for success in the UPSC exams.
So keep that curiosity burning, keep analyzing, and keep striving for excellence. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged with the world around you.